Hi, everyone. My name's Irvin Hughes. I am president of American Credit Assurance, and today we're going to be talking about how to build business credit. When you're in a small business, it's vitally important that the moment you start your business, or even if you've been in business 20 years, you need to build business credit. Business credit that is separate and apart from your personal credit. Now, over the many years, my team and I have literally helped thousands of small businesses build business credit and manage business credit. And today we're going to share with you some of the information that you as a business owner are going to need to know about how to build business credit. So the first thing I want you to know is that business credit is different than consumer credit. Unlike consumer credit, business credit is also known as net 30 credit. That's obtained from suppliers and can be built by using your company's EIN number and not your personal SSN. So the first thing I want you to understand is the difference between, say, getting a business loan and building business credit is where you go about getting the credit. When we talk about business credit, we're talking about getting credit from suppliers or people that you do trade with as opposed to a lender. Okay, so these are suppliers that you're going to start building business credit with. Now, the primary benefit, of course, in building and managing business credit is to get access to revolving credit to use for working capital without the use of personal credit or even personal guarantees. And doing so helps you protect your personal credit and assets. So for those of you who have great personal credit, guess what? Business credit is going to help you protect that. And if you have personal assets, it's going to help you protect that as well. Now, there's some things that you're going to have to make sure that you cover. We're going to run through a list of maybe the top 10 steps to building business credibility, because your business does have to be found to be credible so that it can stand on its own with regard to building business credit. So we're going to just run through this checklist, and then you can go back and sort of match up your business with whether or not you have these things in order. So obviously your business formation documents have to match. You must have business licenses if that's required in your field, your tax ID number, your physical business address. You're going to need a separate business phone number, separate and apart from your cell phone. Your national 411 directory, that phone number, that business phone number I just mentioned, needs to be registered in the national 411 directory. Yes, you're going to need to have a business fax number. You're also going to need to have a website, because guess what? They're going to take a look at that. The business email and address, the domain, all of that has to match. Your website, your domain for your email, and the domain where your business is parked on the internet. Also, make sure you clear up any personal records as far as tax liens and judgments, and also the same thing for the business. Anything that's going to be tied to the business. Remember, the goal here in building business credit is to set up the business so that from a credit standpoint, it can stand on its own, separate and apart from you. Now, next, you want to get started building your business credit reports. There are 4 major credit reporting agencies for business, and one of them is Dun & Bradstreet. So the first thing you want to do is get a DUNS number from Dun & Bradstreet. Next, you want to get an Experian business credit report. Go to Experian. Each of these, you can go to their website and start that process. Also, you want to get Equifax Small Business Credit Report. And then lastly, a credit report from TradeCreditReport.com. These are the top 4 business credit reporting agencies. Now, the next thing, once you set up your business where you've now put in applications so you can start your profiles, the next thing you want to do is you want to start applying for net 30 credit terms with suppliers. So you want to apply for terms with these suppliers that will report your on-time payments to the business credit reporting agencies. Next, you want to make purchases using the credit accounts instead of prepaying for cash or using a credit card. Now, this is important in building business credit, is that you make small purchases and you do that consistently so that you create what's called pay cycles. These pay cycles get reported, and that's how it builds your company's credit. And the last thing I want to point out right here is make sure, guys, that you do not pay. This is a mistake many owners make when they're building business credit. Make sure that when you're buying on Net 30 credit terms that you do not pay your supplier's invoices too quickly. So make sure you pay your invoices 15 to 25 days from the date of the invoice. If you pay before 15 days, it probably won't track as a trade credit transaction, meaning that it's just going to register as a cash transaction and it won't report to your credit report. Okay. And then you want to repeat this process as often as needed when you're building business credit. So having said that, with managing your vendor accounts, remember that you're trying to get to a Paydex score of 80 or above. To put that in perspective, an 80 Paydex score on a business credit report on a Dun & Bradstreet report is about the equivalent of about a 740 personal FICO score. That's just to give you a benchmark to sort of measure with. Generally, after about 12 on-time payment cycles, you may be able to request longer payment terms from your suppliers, and make sure you monitor your business credit reports. Now, why that's important, guys, is because the bigger your trade credit or your business credit report gets, it will allow you now to move on and start applying not just for vendor credit, but now also for business credit cards. You want to apply for business credit cards. And so the benefit here, guys, is bank issued business credit cards with cashback benefits or longer payment terms such as Net 60 or Net 90. And let's not forget that you can also get increased credit limits after you have had a few payment cycles on these bank issued business credit cards. Next, business credit cards that feed data into the business credit reports, not your personal credit reports. It's vitally important to understand when you get bank issued business credit cards that you understand where those payments are going to be reported to one of the business credit reporting agencies that we discussed earlier. And then lastly, the benefit is it helps you maintain liquidity for higher bank ratings. Now, we don't have time to get into what a bank rating is, but I do want to share with you one thing. And that's one major advantage to building business credit is to maintain at least something called a low 5 rating. That is an average daily balance of $10,000 or more over a 90-day period. When you're building business credit, the key here is to use credit to defer payments to maintain higher bank balances or increase your company's liquidity. A business credit Paydex score, you should have a goal of 85. Certainly above 80, but your goal should be 85 because that is a stellar business credit score. The other benefit of, obviously, is it stabilizes those cash balances by deferring payments for operating expenses. Now, a lot of people ask the question, well, what can I use business credit for? You can use business credit to buy inventory for your business. You can buy equipment. Oftentimes people don't know that equipment, if you're trying to buy equipment like vehicles, capital equipment and things like that, you can actually finance equipment. Equipment finance companies won't even check personal credit if you have a business credit score. So for inventory, equipment, materials, and supplies for your business, you absolutely want to have the benefit of building business credit. Well, guys, that's all we have for now. Thank you so much for your time and attention.